Welcome to the Cocktail Guru podcast,
a show about food, drink, and entertainment,
with a tight focus on the good life,
and all things delicious, luxurious, and fun.
I'm Jonathan Pogash, bartender, author, TV personality, and founder of the Cocktail Guru.
And I'm Jeffrey Pogash, wine and spirits professional, author, insatiable collector of culinary ephemera, and so people tell me, an engaging raconteur.
And my dad. The House of Lustau's Solera standout returns to the U.S. to encourage our friends from the beverage community, stronger and renewed, to join them again. You can submit your recipe from now until December 11th. Enter the Solera Hall of Fame and win a grand cash prize and a full week internship at Lustau in Jerez, Spain. Okay, we're at this obviously beautiful surrounding ocean behind us. What do you think about that?
I think it's incredible. This is a beautiful place. We couldn't be happier. We're at Bally's Hotel and Casino.
And we want to bring on our amazing special guest. Paul is here with Bally's. And Paul, welcome to our podcast, first of all.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
And we want to ask you about what makes Bally's so special right now, right here.
Yeah, well, this is really an important time in Bally's for our company. It's an important time for me professionally. It's an important time for the property. Here and now is really everything. I'm born and raised in this area. My parents both work in casino hospitality. My mother right here in Atlantic City, my father for Bally's. So pretty special to be here where I'm from. I live in Wilmington, Delaware, just about an hour from here. So, to be a part of the new Bally's and bringing that to Atlantic City, New Jersey, it's kind of everything, to be honest.
And tell us, if you will, what has changed at Bally's Atlantic City?
I think the better question, respectfully, is what hasn't. So we've already spent about $100 million here at Bally's Atlantic City since we took ownership of this property in 2019, in the end of the year. We started with FanDuel Sportsbook. We added that amenity for our customers. We went straight upstairs to dining, and we opened Jerry Longo's Meatballs and Martinis, a great Italian restaurant concept with a partner that we have. We brought in another outside partner to open Water Dog, which is an American avant-garde gastropub style restaurant, who has a following here locally in Ventnor, New Jersey, just the next town over. So they've been a nice partnership. We went from there. We did our high limits table games area with a lot of baccarat tables and blackjack, and really a first-class gaming experience. We've added over 200 slot machines to our casino floor. We went right from there into our big projects, I'll say, if those weren't big enough. We renovated 750 hotel rooms in our iconic Bally's Tower with the rose-colored glass. We recently opened the Yard, Beers, Eats, and Beats, which I'm sure we can talk about. We opened the Carousel Bar right in the center of the lobby. So we've been busy, and we've done quite a bit in just a couple of years' time.
It's a really cool place. I've been touring the casino floors, and everything is just beautifully done. The Carousel Bar is really cool, and I'm really anxious to see the Yard. Can you tell us about the food served at the Yard?
Absolutely. I already don't mean to make this too much about myself, because it's not. This is an important company, but the Yard for me is really a passion piece. It's a restaurant and entertainment venue that I think if I didn't work in casino gaming for Bally's, I would want to do this on my own. And so Bally's has offered us the opportunity to put forward an American gastropub, brew hall, restaurant, and it's amazing. It's over 10,000 square feet, 380 seats in total. It's an indoor, outdoor, and courtyard venue nestled in the historic Dennis Hotel, which is part of the Bally's campus. The Dennis Hotel was built in 1920 here, and there was this amazing courtyard. We had a tenant, former tenant that we respect very, very much, actually, a family who has other restaurants in the Atlantic City area, that their lease came due. We chose not to offer new extension renewal, we had a vision for this space. And so nestled within the historic courtyard facing the boardwalk, we built a brand new 5,000 square foot building that's state of the art. It's a glass structure with the 80-foot retractable roof, 15 garage doors that raise straight up and becomes an outdoor space in summer. In winter, it can be completely enclosed and fully climate controlled to be a warm space. So we have an outdoor stage. We have a stage within that building. Then there's an inside portion of the restaurant as well. It's many things for many people. We have arcade games. We have table games. We have 8 bartender stations. We've got a great American gastropub menu, partnerships with local craft breweries and national craft breweries that we've learned and come to respect across the company, coupled with like a 90s music vibe, which I'm a 90s grunge guy, so pretty perfect for my demographic and really anybody who's looking to have a great time, listen to some music, eat some food, and drink a beer or a cocktail for sure.
And I hear that the burgers are fantastic.
We have some great burgers. We're making everything, it's scratch menu. So we're making everything in-house, brisket, short rib, and chuck burger mix. So they're excellent. Our bacon cheeseburger is a top seller. But really fun is our influencer burger, which is the same great patty that we just discussed, some smoked onions. And then we actually pour a smoked cheddar fondue on top of the bun that's logoed with the Yard logo. We pour it tableside. We hit it with some jalapeno bling and actually Cheez-It bling on top of that. So we do that all tableside.
Dad's mouth is watering.
Yeah, it's a show.
Okay.
You have to try it.
I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Perfect. I hope you're hungry.
Very, yes.
Thank you so much, Paul, for giving us a little intro into the venues and into what you've done with Bally's. It really is amazing, and we really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me on, letting me yak about our property, which we're all very proud of, and hope you get a chance to kick back and really experience this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
Again, this is just a slew of special guests today, Dan.
Yes, it is. And this time it's all about tequila, which is one of my all-time favorite drinks.
And we have the lovely Aleesha with Mast-Jägermeister here today, specifically to discuss Teremana Tequila. Hello, Aleesha.
Hi, thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Thank you, Aleesha Meola, for being here with us in Atlantic City at Bally's Hotel and Casino.
What an amazing backdrop. Let's just turn around and take a look at the beach. And quite a few beachgoers today.
And there's even a parasailer in the background there. Right back here.
And several seagulls flying by.
It's amazing.
Now tell us about Teremana Tequila.
What sets Teremana apart from all of the other tequila brands that are out there?
Well, what's great is Teremana is actually a, Mast-Jägermeister is a family-owned company. And we partnered with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, to work on Teremana. And kind of the goal of the founding team was really just to create a very high quality, ultra premium tequila that was still going to be accessible to everyone, and affordability and things like that. And then especially what's great about Teremana is, we never compromise on quality. We are a small batch tequila. All of our processes are done that way as well. We are still using copper pot stills and only using that to distill our product. We are using 200-liter barrels, so that way we're making sure that the liquid is hitting all parts of the barrel as much as possible to really keep with the consistency of flavor.
Are there any specific ways of that Teremana is kind of pushing the brand to be served? Neat, on the rocks, cocktail specific styles? Absolutely.
So obviously just a nice cold shot, which Jeff, you got to enjoy just a few minutes ago, right there in your hand.
Yes. Still enjoying it, Aleesha.
Still enjoying it as well. Is a perfect way to, to serve that. Otherwise, we also really are behind the People's Margarita, which is kind of our take on margarita, with still going toward Dwayne Johnson's Polynesian background. So with pineapple juice.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great. And then actually, his favorite way of enjoying it is just a very ice cold glass of Repo.
Oh yeah. And how in fact are you kind of spreading the Terramana message or the Terramana love, to bartenders, to the trade, to the outside public world?
Well, we launched Terramana in the greatest time ever. Just kidding, which was March of 2020, right? So we launched 1 week after the world shut down, basically. But, to our humble success, we actually are the largest launch in spirit history. So
Wow.
it's in, yes,
Oh
spirit
my
history.
goodness.
Mhm.
That's incredible.
Would you say that again?
Largest launch in spirit history.
Largest launch in spirit history.
Yep.
Wow.
And I know, and obviously The Rock is a huge part of the brand, and it is his brand. How did he come about to found a tequila brand?
Well, he was actually working on this brand for 10 years prior to us actually even launching it. So it's really a passion of his. Basically, tequila's always been a part of his, friends and family in good times, bad times, silly times, and whatnot. And so he really just is a huge tequila lover and wanted to put that forth, into a brand that he can really be behind. And we are so happy to have the partnership with, Mast-Jägermeister and Dwayne Johnson. Could not be happier. And it's a brand that he's really behind. His name is on every bottle. His tattoo is our logo. And one of the coolest things that maybe a lot of people don't know is his daughter's initials are on the bottom of every bottle. So if you flip it on the side, you'll see Tafasi there, and those are his 3 daughters' initials. And that's really because he wanted to create a legacy for his family.
And I think he's doing a good job. This is a delicious.
Give me
tequila.
some of that.
Well,
Gentlemen, no fighting. I have a whole bottle here.
It is so well balanced. It has that beautiful, what I call wet cement character, which is agave.
Official
coming
tasting
through.
note of what's
Yeah, I mean that is a proper term used to describe tequila. Whether you use it or not is another thing, but it is a proper term, and it denotes a really fine, well-made tequila. So something I enjoy a great deal. This is delicious.
It does.
Thank you.
It's a delicious product, and I've had many a cocktail with Terramana, and
Good.
much luck and much success, and great to meet you.
Great to meet you too. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for joining us. Oh, look, there's a helicopter going by.
Oh, look at
There's a lot happening.
What's going on?
Is that The Rock in the helicopter? Oh my goodness!
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
This is amazing. Well, thank you so much, Aleesha.
Thank
again.
you.
Thanks. Take care.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
If you're into swag as much as we are, then look no further than our Cocktail Guru shop. The items in our store have been personally chosen with care by me, Jonathan, and my team of cocktail gurus. A water bottle with a stainless steel straw, we've got that. T-shirts, hoodies, snapback hats, signed copies of Mr. Boston Bartender's Guide, cocktail box kits, bar tools, more. Way more. You bet. We've even managed to create a onesie for that mocktail lover in your family. Head on over to shop.thecocktailguru.com and use code GURU22 for 10% off your first order. That's shop.thecocktailguru.com, 10% off with code GURU22. Cheers. We are here today with another extra special guest. Dad, I'm very excited about this next guest because we have known each other for quite a long time. I would say that we are, people might say that we are OG, I guess. And I've known Mr. Juan Coronado for many, many years, from his time working behind the stick to moving to brand jobs to being a brand owner. So we wanted to bring him on and have him talk about going from, being a bartender, a bar manager, bar owner, to working for brands, and then having your own beverage brand. So welcome, Mr. Juan Coronado.
Welcome, Juan.
Hello,
And
Jeffrey. Hello, Jonathan.
Hello,
Thank you very
hello.
much for having me in this show.
It's a pleasure. And in your honor, Juan, I am drinking what I'm calling a baby blue margarita.
Wow. I am
Yes.
Yeah.
jealous.
Wow. Is
And I'm using Añejo tequila for this.
Oh wow, that sounds lovely. I love
Mm.
that.
Juan, let's start. Let's go back to the beginning. How did you get yourself into into this wild hospitality industry?
Well, like some people say, Jonathan, is energy transform into so many things, but it's the intensity of the current that goes through your heart that makes you do things. Some people call it fire, some people call it passion, some people call it the spirit that is in you, and so many other things. But whatever we're gonna call it today is that intensity of that energy of that passion that you feel in that makes you do things. And somebody wise once says, like, passion is the fuel to achieve goals in life. And I just let myself go and put my eyes into something and work hard. That's the key thing. Of course, there's so many other things along the way, but I started as an engineer in the Dominican Republic and came to the States, and then I did photography, and then I've always been a DJ all my life, so I have a big passion for music. Although I don't play any instruments, but I guess behind the decks is my thing. Was my thing, I would say.
Uh-huh.
And then that tied up with like the whole bar and entertainment. Some of those elements of the nightlife that during the early 90s were like key things to move the industry, specifically in New York. I mean, Jeffrey can tell you all about it because his job was to make sure we were all doing a good job, right, Jeffrey?
Well, yes, to some extent that's true. Yes, I was kind of
So
overseeing everybody selling my products. Yes,
exactly, making
especially champagne at Bubble Lounge, right?
woohoo, pops. So
Yeah.
that thing led to others, and I always like being able to use the eyes of my heart to see opportunities and jumping right on them. I always like tell people you got to be ready for when the opportunities arrive. It's the worst thing if they arrive and you're not ready to jump on them. And being fearless and believing in yourself, believing in the things that you have learned and that make you your values. Like the whole combination of things is what lets you leap from one thing to the other one. I started as a bartender years ago, and it was a mistake. It was a total mistake, guys.
What,
Bartender,
being a
well,
bartender was a mistake?
I mean, I don't want to say it was a mistake. I was not ready to be a bartender, but
Oh,
I
okay.
used that opportunity, and me thinking I can do everything. Oh, come on! What does a bartender do? He smiles to people. He take the telephone numbers of all the pretty girls,
Oh,
and
right.
he
Yeah,
hands
yeah.
out them Rico Suave there. And like, okay, I can do that. You want to know what's my first order that day? Somebody ordered a perfect in and out martini,
Hmm.
Ooh,
Hmm.
and I was like, a what?
right.
I think a martini is what James Bond drinks, and it's just a bunch of vodka or gin. Oh, nice, I can do that. But, but what do you mean in and out? And I make whatever. Didn't ask the customer like, and he goes like, I asked you for a perfect in and out, and he pushed it back at me. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't hear you clearly. And then I am like thinking, oh my god, this is gonna hurt. It was embarrassing. He ended up like, you're not a bartender. I'm like, well, the truth is the bartender didn't show up today, and I'm stepping
Yeah.
on people here.
Isn't that always how it goes? And for those folks who don't know what an in and out perfect martini is, or Manhattan rather, was it a Manhattan or
No,
martini?
Yes,
martini.
Oh,
martini.
Martini.
oh, martini. So yeah, that's with so in and out. First of all, is by putting the vermouth in the glass and swirling it around, and then flinging the excess liquid. So a perfect Manhattan is with dry vermouth and sweet vermouth, and a perfect martini is with dry vermouth and sweet vermouth swirled in and then let out of the glass, and then the regular, the vodka or the gin in the martini.
I wish you would have been there next to me.
Yes, I should have been, but that's how it happened with me getting behind the bar too. It was like I was a bar back, and the lunchtime bartender never showed up, and so they just kind of threw me in there. But it's also a great way to learn to just get thrown to the wolves.
I went from waiter to bartender, no experience, like in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So, anyways, here's how I got myself out of this. Um, to be honest with you, I was not really into drinking cocktails. The magic of the cocktails didn't cut up with me at that time. I was just 21. And I remember being in the Dominican Republic. There used to be a big truck, like a food truck, turned into a drink truck. This is in the 80s. And these
Mhm.
guys were like squeezing lime, putting a spoon of sugar, and putting white rum. And the other guy shook and took the money from everybody. The line was like a block. It was called El Daiquiri. And I was
Mhm.
like, wow. I was like, well, sir, I know you hate me by now, but there's one cocktail that I would like to make to you. You might like it. And I went downstairs. I remember the chef used limes for at the bar. We didn't have no limes. We have lime roses, of course. The
Mhm.
chef used lime for a salad that he created a dressing. And I found that one like box, like little box of limes. He had like 6 limes. I don't even know. And I grabbed 2, went upstairs, went to the kitchen, grabbed my sugar, came back. Then I have this shaker, this Boston shaker, and I shoot the hell out of it, like those guys in the truck. And voila! Didn't even strain the thing, by the way. I was horrible, but he
Mm.
liked it. He said, like,
Wow.
wow. From that day on, he called me Mr. Daiquiri. He was a French
Really?
visitor. He called me, hey, Mr. Daiquiri, I'll take a daiquiri. He ended up having 2 of them. And that saved me. That moment was like, okay, number one, I need to be prepared for this. Number two, I don't know if they're going to like keep me as a bartender here, but I kind of like it. And, I accepted the challenge. I wanted to
Yeah.
learn and I wanted to give the best I could. I ended up being a thing. So I ended up getting at first was a 1 day a week bartending shift. Then of course made my way through, and within less than a year I was the bartender of the place on a French bistro, and I just continued that, and I've been the luckiest guy because I've met amazing people in this journey, like people that
Yeah.
encourage me, you know people that I was like looking at what they were doing. I'm like, that's interesting too. And they're like, okay, I remember buying my first Mr. Boston book of cocktails. All right, today we're gonna make the Singapore sling, and like I'm reading this thing. But for
Mhm.
me, I always understood that having fresh fruit on the bar is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Where I come from, there was no lime roses. That's too expensive.
Right.
Lime, pineapples, mangoes, you name it. It's cheaper, and you have it right there. So I always understood like this tastes better than that. I don't know what people like this. I know that's expensive, but I'm too fancy and swanky. But this is the way, and I just like you know went that way. Met you,
Yeah.
Junior Marino along
Oh
those
yeah.
days. Great friend, and a couple of other cool people, and of course, our industry was able to reinvent itself. And I was having a meeting in Barcelona last week, and the director of a hotel told me, I want to ask you something. What's going on with the bartenders? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like the new chefs. I'm like, yeah, they are. Indeed, they are.
Oh yeah.
And you got it right. Treat them like, like a chef.
Absolutely. And so, if we fast forward, you ended up going from behind the bar to working for a brand, and a portfolio. So you were hired by Bacardí to work for their portfolio, and that transition must have been very interesting. And then you were also owning bars, I think maybe at the same time, right?
So, I truck it back a little bit. I opened up a bar, and I was working at the several bars, Tribeca and all that, the Bubble Lounge. Then opened up Sortie and Hell's Kitchen, and it was the key moment when brands were like putting the focus on behind the bar, trying to own their space and the respect within a cocktail menu, and being able to like somehow be a partner within the bartender or the decision maker at the bar or the owner. And there I was. I was able to put in my DJ skills there, have you know, the culinary skills. We had a beautiful kitchen. We opened one of the chefs from Leal. And then, of course, the magic of the cocktails into a lounge, and, good sounds, good atmosphere. And it all smells good, tastes good, and look good. And during those days, I remember I launched a couple of brands that were brand new. But we're talking about what? We launched Saint Germain. We launched Suntory Yamazaki there. We did a couple of things with specific, ROMs from back in the day. Then um, one opportunity came up for me to lead the experience of the House of Mixing Academy for Hennessy and the whole like LVMH. And I went in and set it up. These few events with them throughout like 3 years. Then I met up with the Bacardi family and the Bacardi folks and their agency at the time, and it was an instant click. I guess I fit the role and looked good for the role at the moment. But for me, it was showing them that there's more in that opportunity. They were not looking for brand ambassadors. They were in the process of creating rum masters or brand masters. And I kid you not, the training was quite intense. We went through everything. It was not easy. Some people quit along the way, and but I had the opportunity to like work and partner with my dear brother in rum in Cane rum, David Sid, and we pulled through. And it was an amazing journey, an amazing experience that taught us like leadership, taught us you got to be better than what you think you are. Study, learn, be prepared, and
Yeah.
kept on opening bars. Today I partake in a company called the Pour Group, and we have four colada shops, which is our Cuban experiences, cafes, all day Cuban cocktails. We're opening our
Amazing.
shop within 2 weeks in DuPont Circle, Washington D.C.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Within that, also we have a Michelin star restaurant, which is amazing. Just on 5 years, it's called Bresca in the heart of Shaw in Washington D.C. Full on service, hospitality. It's an experience. It's like being at a gallery and being able to eat the pieces of art. And also, we have a bar that is like super cool. Just turned 3 years old last Sunday. It's called Serenata. It's the Cosecha Food Market, and we are the main bar and the whole food hall. It's
Yeah.
very lively, and we showcase cocktails from all the Latin countries, and
That's amazing.
products.
And with a couple minutes that we have left, now the tequila, please tell us a little bit in a couple of minutes about Mijenta.
So Mijenta is a brand that is a sustainable brand, very traditional in the processes and in the way we do things. We embark in a journey of making tequila to taste like tequila. As we know, tequila has suffered identity crisis through the years. Vodka was always key, and tequila wanted to be a little lighter, but tequila traditional has to be a full body on, no filtration and all that. And we brought in the best. We use agaves from the highlands. We have Ana Maria Romero as our maestro tequilera, and it's been the most amazing journey so far in my career. And I can kid like tequila is here to stay, and especially like the past 3 years, the numbers on tequilas have been fantastic, and us having a story that tied us in with the land and the people and life is quite cool. It's been an amazing journey.
That's awesome, and it's a fabulous tequila, and anyone who's out there listening should put it behind their bar, on their bar cards. Dad's drinking a lovely blue añejo tequila cocktail. This is actually the earliest we've ever recorded a podcast, and this is the earliest I've seen. Actually, no, it's probably not the earliest I've seen Dad drink.
No,
It's 5 o'clock somewhere else, no?
Somewhere else,
it's always a good time for a drink.
and it's always a good time with.
Especially
With
when you
Juan
have sipping
Coronado.
tequila.
Yes,
Thank you, guys.
especially tequila, and with Juan Coronado.
A great time always, as always, Juan. Hope to see you very soon. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, guys. I can wait to meet you guys for a drink or two soon. Okay, please.
We will be there at one of
We
your
need to
bars.
record
We will
that
be there.
encounter too.
Yes, we should
Yes.
definitely record it.
Yes.
Thanks,
you.
Juan.
Tipple Time is brought to you in part by Perfect Purée of Napa Valley and Maison Ferrand.
All right, I am here to make you another one of our Tipple Time cocktails. This time it is an homage to my childhood and my heritage, a French gimlet. My mother is French, as you may know from listening to our podcast. And this particular cocktail includes Citadel gin, which is delicious, and a delicious artisanal gin. And really, it says on the bottle there, a premier cru cognac producer that created this delicious Citadel gin. It's slow distillation in copper pot stills, which I love. I love the flavor of copper pot distilled spirits. So I have my mixing glass here, and I'm going to add 2 ounces of my Citadel gin directly into the mixing glass. I smell the botanicals, really, really nice, really delicious. And right now I have the Perfect Purée of Napa Valley Mango Passion Purée. This is really nice in cocktails, really, really nice. Cuts you back on time if you're working in a bar or restaurant and you may not have the time to make your own passion fruit or mango puree. This is kind of the best of both worlds. And actually, we'll pop a link in, we'll right around here, wherever this screen is, wherever you're watching, for some free samples for restaurant folks and bar folks, hospitality industry. You can get some free samples of their delicious purees. Now, just to kind of balance out the flavors, I'm going to add half of an ounce. Oh, I added an ounce of that puree. I'm adding half of an ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice and half of an ounce of simple syrup, which of course is just equal parts sugar and water. Now we're ready to add ice. I've got my ice in this not so attractive container, but that's okay. But I'm filling my mixing glass with ice. That's because we don't want much room for that liquid to move around. The more packed ice there is, the less diluted and the colder that drink will be, believe it or not. I know, it's kind of counterintuitive. And now we're going to shake for 8 Mississippis, right? Do you guys remember? Let's go ahead and do it. All right. Oh, that's maybe like 4 Mississippis. Okay, there we go. Nice shaking action. And we will take our Hawthorne strainer and our beautiful martini glass over here and just strain it out. I love that color. It's like a bright orange, yellowy orange color. I love it. Lime wheel as the garnish right on top. Just float that on top, and some fresh dried lavender just right on top. Oh my goodness. This looks really nice and beautiful. The French gimlet. Cheers, everyone. I'm going to give it a little bit of a taste. Hold on. Oh yeah. All of those flavors blend perfectly together for this lovely, lovely, all year round cocktail. Cheers.
Tipple Time is brought to you in part by Maison Ferrand and Perfect Purée of Napa Valley.
That does it for today's show. If you enjoy what we do, please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. You can also support the show with a small monthly donation to help sustain future episodes. Just click on the donate button at the top of our website and choose your donation amount. To learn more about future guests, visit www.thecocktailgurupodcast.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok.
The Cocktail Guru podcast is produced by First Reel Entertainment and distributed by EatsDrinksTV, a service of the Center for Culinary Culture, home of the Cocktail Collection, and is available via Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.